athletes, they get to list their primary sport.
Yeah. He is holding me to every second of that.
It's now time for the Coaches Show on News Talk 1250 KBRF and KBRFradio.com, presented by the Viking Cafe and brought to you by the Minnesota Motor Company, Lake Region Healthcare, Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, and by Running Stitches. Now for the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe, here's Craig Olson.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday Morning Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe. We are live at the Leighton Media Studios and coming to you on News Talk 1250 KBRF and video streaming through the KBRF YouTube channel and the Fergus Now app. And this is the time of the week when we catch up with the coaches, talk about the previous week, look ahead to the week that is coming up. And for the first time this fall, we get to talk cross country. Nikki Weldy is with us. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
And you had just a beautiful day for your cross country meet this past week. I say that facetiously. The one bad day of the fall, it seems.
Yeah.
You just mentioned, we're talking off the air about it felt more like an early spring track meet in Detroit Lakes.
It did. It was wet when we got there. It was raining when we got there. So the first two races, the junior high races, those kids ran in a real downpour. And they're warming up and they're just doing the runouts and doing everything. And I just said, we're not endearing cross country to anybody today. This is so opposite of what we usually have.
Yeah, it was like punishment having to compete. And that's a difficult course anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty hilly course. And,
very challenging. Yeah. And so, you throw that little aspect in, but in all honesty, performances were outstanding. The kids had really great attitudes about it. And, I really complimented them on that the next day when we talked to, they handled it very well.
All right. That's good to have that experience maybe in your background, because it is only going to get better here, I think, as we move forward. Talk about your young kids and the numbers you have right now in the program, Nikki. How many young kids and middle school kids did you have competing, and are you pretty pleased with what you're seeing? I know you walk the halls there and do a little recruiting at times.
Yeah. Our numbers can always be better. Cross country is sometimes a tough sell, and kids sometimes don't understand it either. They think that, they hear that we go on a run and our high school kids will do a 10 mile. And then they think, oh, you have to run 10 miles, and that's not the case. That's, and so, it can be a tough sell. And our numbers they're okay. But like, I'd really like to have more. We're on the girls' side, we're on the verge of, if we get a couple people sick, we won't have it. We're not running a team that day. So yeah. Oh, I do a lot of. I'm a good car salesman. I can give a good convincing speech when it comes to considering cross country.
There you go. But really, I bet your best salesmen are the kids themselves.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we tell the kids that too. It's just if you've got a friend who's not doing anything, tell them to come out and try. They'll surprise themselves. Yeah.
We're talking autocross country with Nikki Weldy, the head girls cross country coach. And before we get into the varsity competition, I do want to also throw this out to our viewers and listeners that the Viking Cafe is giving away two $25 gift certificates this morning on the show. And the way we're doing that is by having you text the keyword. I'm trying to get my technology terminology down, Viking, the keyword Viking. Text that to 321-1926, okay? 321-1926. Text the word Viking, and you'll be in the drawing for the two $25 gift certificates from the Viking, which is a good prize.
Oh, it's a great prize.
Hey, they're providing us with breakfast, too. I had my breakfast sandwich already. Nikki is waiting for hers.
Yeah, I'm taking mine on the road.
All right, there we go. All right, let's talk about the varsity competition. And, some things have not been changing over the last few years, and that is Cassie Wellman is always leading you at the top of every race, it seems, and she had a second-place finish and really a good battle with the runner from Shanley.
Yeah, yep. It was a really good race for her. I think we're going to find a couple times where she's going to need that push, and that was good to have that Shanley girl there. The two of them were just in their own race. I mean, there was a big gap between the rest of the field, and she's just, if anything, just so consistent. She ran right up. She ran within 2 seconds of what she ran in her first meet of the season. She's right on track of where she should be, and she's got great goals for the end of the season. So she looking forward to what's going to happen.
Cassie has had success since she came onto the scene, it seems, in varsity cross country. But as her coach, and you've seen her progress and compete through the years, how has she changed in her running style, or just is there a change in what she's doing, or has she learned a lot and just, doing more things mentally and the way that she needs to do it to adapt her race?
Yeah, I think mentally she's just solid. She's just a gamer. There's just the look on her face when she runs. If you ever see her run, it's very telling. She's just solid that way. But she is. But if anything, it's just more miles, more intensity in her training, off season, in season. She's she just does. She's doing everything right. And if I had to say anything about her, it's just she's so consistent. I would say her turnover. She's got such a quick turnover when she runs, and just watching that. When you watch her, if you see her off in the distance, you know who it is. Nothing changed. She's just solid. But like I said, it's that drive to meet her goals. I mean, she's just real focused. Yeah.
And then she gets in the race with a girl like McKenna Johnson from Shanley, and she's pushed even more, and you maybe see even more come out of her.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Carson Lill is a two-sport athlete in the fall. She's a tennis player and a cross-country runner. Jamie told us, her tennis coach, last week that her primary sport is cross-country, and she was sixth for you, and she just is a determined runner, too.
Yeah, she is. She loves the sport and loves both sports, and that's tough when you have, and your mom is the coach of the tennis team too. I mean, I know having my son, doing sports and things too. It's, that's it's been great to work with Jamie and getting Carson to both events, and Allie Bradenberg doing the same thing.
Right.
They're just, boy, that takes a lot to juggle two sports, and they're doing such a great job of it. But Carson is just she's just like a sponge. She just soaks up everything we do, and she's just so coachable and everything. And so she's really fun to work with.
And your 3 and 4 runners in this meet were Lydia Ugerud and Violet McCann, and talk about their progress.
Yeah, Lydia, we've been watching her come up, and she's just been we've been kind of like, she's coming on, and then she had a great track season, and then kind of moving into this cross country season, and just another real determined runner. She's just solid. She's not going to be waving to the crowd as she's running by these girls. That they're just real focused, and been fun to watch her come up. And Violet McCann, of course, what a leader, on the team. Just she's her and Cassie are captains this year, and she's just that almost that mother hen, just taking care of everybody. And but so fun to watch, as she's getting stronger every year. So I'm just hoping that she will, she'll be able to find that. She's a middle distance runner for us in track, and so that is, just watching her run cross country is it's so good for her track season too.
Oh, sure, and you get a lot of athletes who are with you in the fall, and then again in the spring, and I had never thought, the correlation there between workouts in the fall and what they're doing here, and how it applies to what they do in their events in the spring. But it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a great base. And then a lot of our girls and guys will ski cross country skiing in the winter. So it's just the 3 sports just work really nice together.
Yeah. Natalie Gerner, first varsity race?
Yes, first varsity race, and jumped in a varsity right away. We again, one of those athletes who we've been waiting to see what will happen and how how will she react to the 5K, and she handled it so well. I mean, it was just really fun. Yeah, fun to see her out on the course.
And the top 5 are the ones that score, and then it's important for number 6 and number 7 to go hard, because you never know when you're going to get in a tiebreaker situation. We've already seen that early this year.
Yeah, Staples. I mean, we couldn't have been any closer with Breck Wap. They were, we were tied to, just straight up in points, and then went to the tiebreaker, and they were 41st and 42nd, I think, or whatever it was. They were right neck and neck. I mean, you really do rely on those athletes, and just to be there if something happens to one of our top 5, then you have that backup there out on the course, and Olivia Budke, another runner, kind of had her track season got kind of cut short just with an injury, and then just to see her coming back in and just she wants it. She had a end of the cross country season last year. She had a huge time drop just right at the end, and that just built a fire in her. And so it's been great to see her. She's back and she's dropping time, and things are great. And then Lilia Ronovic, another freshman who is just again, we were waiting. It is a big move for kids, and sometimes we might lose 1 or 2 moving from that 8th grade to the 9th grade. It goes from running a 2-mile race to a 5K, and some kind of look at it like, oh, that's so scary. I could never run some of my 7th grade girls, I could never run a 5K. I said, you've got 2 years, you've got some time, it'll come, but So to watch these 2 freshman girls, it has been really, really good to see.
You wound up 5th as a team.
Yeah.
Does that speak to the level of competition you faced?
Yes, yeah, it was. They're hosting the conference meet, and so there were, quite a few conference teams there. Some of the bigger schools, and a few North Dakota schools that are really stand out. And so, DL runs a really good meet, and I was really pleased with that 5th place. That was kind of, and we didn't have Allie out on the course that day either, and
Right.
so. It just speaks to how well the girls are really running.
Well, you look at Perham, Alexandria. I mean, right there, top 2 in many meets.
Yep.
Shanley and Horace, and then the Otters just ahead of Bemidji. So, stiff competition.
Yes, definitely.
And you go to Little Falls now, and that's kind of a unique meet, too, and much different from the course you just ran in DL.
Yeah. We were talking to the kids, too, even in that bad weather. I would say 3/4 of our kids had season bests coming off of just a moderate course at Staples, and they still dropped time in the conditions and on that challenging course. And now, we'll go to Little Falls, and there's not a hill in sight anywhere on that golf course. So it's just a chance to kind of boost those times a little bit more. But the fact that what's encouraging is that they were able to drop from Staples to DL, and now I'm excited to see him run a flat course.
Yeah. Well, a great start to the season for the Otter girls. Just touching on the boys, too, they had a similar result. They were 6th as a team, and they've got a lot of veteran runners to replace from graduation, of course, but some of the guys, Mike Emoji was some good experience last year, and he was 22nd to lead the boys.
Yes, he was. And, he had a great second half of his race and came on and to run in that second spot for us. And he's just an athlete who just puts in the time. And, they had all these guys had great mentors in that group of seniors that graduated, some of the summer programming things that those boys started. And, Mike is somebody who just, was right there with them every step. So. Yeah.
And Samuel Rasmussen, 25th, Brody Nelson, 34th, and then Dexter Fellstool made his 5K debut. So.
Yes, that was fun to see. One of our guys, we kind of had to wait a little bit longer to get, but yeah.
Well, we'll talk more about the guys next week when Derek is here. But Nikki, thanks so much for coming in, talking about your girls, and enjoy the Little Falls event. And it sounds like the weather will be better.
Yeah, it can't be worse. I should say that, but
well, you weathered the storm, I guess.
Yes, we did.
All right, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Nikki Weldy, head coach of the Otter girls cross country team. Remember to text the keyword Viking to 321-1926, 321-1926, and you'll be in the running for a couple of $25 gift certificates from the Viking Cafe. And we'll come back. We'll talk Otter football next. Chris Grabowska is here, and we'll visit with him about the Otters' 28-14 win last night in Detroit Lakes as our Coaches Show continues, presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said their customer care goes beyond the sale.
We understand that you trust us to get you into a safe and reliable vehicle. And we also understand that our responsibility doesn't end after the sale.
We know things happen, transmission issues, flat tires, lights coming up on the dash. We'll make sure that you're taken care of and back on the road and back to creating memories.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Shout loud. Cheer strong. Jump for joy. Keeping our community healthy and spirited is the top priority. Lake Region Healthcare.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls, and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the program. We are talking football now, Otter football. Chris Grabowska is here, the 2-0 Otters. Always good to go on the road and get a win. And DL's not a real easy place to play. And you got off to a little slow start, feeling each other out a little bit there. But once you got rolling, Chris, it seemed like, things kind of fell into place for you.
Yeah, we did get a slow start last night, I thought. And, we put ourselves in the hole on offense right away with a penalty, I think, and a minus play, and then we gained it back on a pass play, and then we kind of stalled out with the next 3 plays, and then we had a bad snap and a kind of a bobbled punt there right away, and I have to give credit to DL. They came and they played hard. It's always tough to win there. I feel like we play there a lot over the past few years, but they're always just a really physical team, and they play hard for 4 quarters, and we definitely had to earn that victory last night.
Most coaches, if you talk to them at any level, it seems so we need to establish the run, and then we can do things off that, and move the football. We have to be able to move the football on the ground. And obviously you want to do that, and you did last night. You had good balance. Your passing game was good too. Mm-hmm. But, boy, that ground attack last night was working so well. Were there some things in the DL defense that you saw that you thought would really be vulnerable to your run game, or was it pretty much your offensive line and backs just getting it done?
Yeah, I thought our offensive line played exceptional last night again. They established the blocking on the first and second levels, and Caleb was able to, I feel like, get to second level at least every run last night, and he ran extremely hard. He's a tough kid to bring down. He has great vision. Caleb just had a heck of a game last night, and I'm really proud of him for how he ran. He got yards after contact almost every time, so that was nice to see. And yeah, you definitely want to establish the run game. Especially in our schedule, I feel like it's going to, moving forward, going to be even more important to continue the success in the run game. That will open up the pass game, and then we also got to focus on our defense too, being able to stop teams as well.
Caleb Froning with 3 touchdowns last night, ran for, I think, Mark, I don't know what the official stats show yet, but Mark had him for like 171 yards on the ground last night. And you mentioned, I think, a key, and that is yards after contact, after that first hit. And I love that stat because, your offensive line opens a hole, you get the initial yardage, and then you get hit. And how tough is that running back, and how what good balance do they have to keep on their feet and get those extra 2, 3, or more yards?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just key. That's, putting in the work in the off season. Caleb's also an athlete. He does other sports. He wrestles, so I think that kind of helps him a little bit too. So he's just always been a real natural back too. So that combination of his ability and his hard work in the off season helps definitely with that.
And I can imagine the defensive side of the ball for DL or for anybody you play. By late in the third quarter, they're going to get tired of trying to tackle that guy.
Right.
He's such a punishing runner.
He is, and I thought the second half, we had maybe 2 or 3 drives. I can't remember what it was, but I feel like we were able to run the ball at will in the second half. So that was, easy as a play caller. It's like, well, let's just go to the next run. So that's kind of how it felt the whole second half, and it was nice too because we could keep the ball. We were struggling against the run a little bit last night, so when we got the ball and we were able to run the ball to keep their offense off the field, that was nice.
Yeah, they had a couple of pretty tough backs also. Tyler Francis was a tough back, and then the Renteria kid, it sounded like he was tough in short yardage. And
Yes, they had a couple of good backs that were hard to bring down, and I thought their offensive line was is better than what people think. So they have some big guys on the offensive line. They're able to move some people. It was a good battle in the trenches last night, and I think we ultimately came out on top. But they have some tough players, and they came out in a different offensive look than what we saw in film. They went back to the split back veer. So kind of old school DL a little bit from what I hear.
Yep.
So yeah, that was we had to make some adjustments, but I really loved how our kids responded, and they're resilient and they play hard for 4 quarters too.
Yeah, that is again, another key point there, being able to adjust on the fly to something different that you haven't worked on much during this past week. And all of a sudden they're surprising you, trying to get the element of surprise in their favor. And you've just got to be able to do that. And not every team is capable of that. So that's good to see early in the year, especially.
Yes, it is. And I credit DL. I think they're trying to find their identity on offense. And we just saw that different look, and I really appreciated how defensive staff, they made some adjustments, and we were able to go from there.
Yeah, you've got a coaching staff that certainly they love the game of football. They know the game of football. They know your kids well, and they've got some passion out there. You've got a lot of great coaches who have been around the game for a long time and just have that passion and ability to identify something.
Yes, couldn't be happier with our coaching staff. I'm very lucky. I feel like I have one of the best coaching staffs in Minnesota. So, it definitely helps with game planning and adjustments and just the overall program of football. I got a former head coach, a couple of head coaches of other sports, and a guy that's been around a game for a long time at multiple levels. So just really love working with those guys and coming up with a plan each week and going out there on Friday nights with them.
Well, and from what I hear, talking to kids who have played for these guys too, and for you, it's fun. They make it fun. They want the kids to have fun while they're learning and succeeding. And nothing like winning to make it fun, right?
Oh, winning is fun, but, what the heck are we doing if we're not having fun out there, right?
Exactly, yeah. So here I'm talking about the run game and all that, but you've got a pretty good passing game too. Eston Bethel has stepped up and just done a great job in his first 2 games as a varsity starter. But again, he's got a good arsenal, a lot of good receivers out there.
He does have a lot of good weapons to distribute the ball to. I thought a sophomore starting quarterback first game on the road that's a difficult thing to do. And their defense was flying around, and we had to make some adjustments on offense too in the pass game. And, we saw some different looks than what we saw in film. So I thought he did a pretty good job of handling that. I know he did have a couple of interceptions, but one of them was at the end of the half, and we were trying to score, and we kind of got in the hole a little bit. So we, threw it up to one of our guys to try to make a play. So I don't really count that one, I guess. So,
right.
But overall, I thought he did good. He was able to get to his first and second reads in the pass game, and when he felt pressure, he was able to scramble and kind of make plays. I think he took that next step. He's not just necessarily looking to run to gain yards, and when he scrambles, he's also looking downfield to find his receivers. So he did a good job of doing that last night.
Looks like he and Isaiah Holmes are developing a pretty good connection. They connected on a touchdown pass last night and last week also. And Isaiah's got that knack of, getting open and catching the ball, which is kind of important.
Yeah, he's got a few years experience there. And, we tell a young quarterback you got to rely on those veteran guys. They're gonna get open and when you need them to. So he's a great player. He's just an all-around great player. He can run the ball. He can get open on the short routes. He can catch the long ball. He can catch the jump ball. So he's a great weapon to have out there for sure.
And you've got a couple other weapons out there. Trenton Drugard had a good night for you last night.
Yeah, he did. Him and Pee Wee kind of have a connection too, so that's nice to see. when he was scrambling, I think he found him open a couple of times. So he's a natural receiver, Trenton. He's just tall and lanky. He can jump. So he's just going to continue to get better, I believe.
And Mason Oland has done well for you the first 2 weeks.
Yep, Mason too. He's another guy. I think he kind of got lost in the shuffle last year because we had a lot of receivers last year, and he was behind Jack Ratz. So it's fun to see him get his opportunity on the offensive side of the ball, and he's taken advantage of it. He's got a lot of catches already this year, so it's fun to see.
And you guys were pretty resilient. You know, you scored, then DL scored, and then you scored to get the lead back. You didn't trail last night in that game. Every time DL did something, you answered, and that can get pretty frustrating for the opposing team.
Yeah, you know, I think it's frustrating for both teams. You know, you're trying to build a lead, but yeah, we scored, and then we go back out there, and they kind of drive the ball and milk up a lot of the clock. And I wanted to be on the offensive side of, as an offensive coach, you want to be on the offense. You want to have the ball more. So last night I feel like something we got to work on is get off the field on 3rd and 4th down. I thought our defense did well getting them to those situations. Now we just got to work on finishing, right, and then getting our ball back into the offense's hands. So, but yes, you're right. We're resilient. We know we can go out there and when another team scores and put a drive together, and that's what we did well last night.
Don't worry about punting in a game like that, it seems. I think Mark was late in the 3rd quarter. He said, is this our first punt for the game? You know, it's like neither team was punting.
No, neither team. I think we punted once last night, and that's the bad snap.
So keep that punt team off the field, right?
Yep, yeah.
But the kicking team, Josh Horgan, he's perfect this year. I mean, everything's working out there, and we talked about it a little bit in the past. You know, the snap, the blocking, the hold, the kick. There's a lot of elements to an extra point or a field goal, and so far so good.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. It's nice to have that option when you score to have the extra point. I think even we got a penalty on one of the first extra points and moved us back 5 yards. So it was good to see that he has a little bit of range too. So excited to have him on the team, and he's doing an exceptional job. And I know that's a tough thing to do when you're playing 2 sports and you kind of have to go back and forth to practice, and there's a lot of communication involved. You know, what nights are you going to be here so we can work on some things, and you know, some days he's going to 2 practices. So really proud of him for, you know, being able to handle that load and then showing up Friday night and getting the job done.
So who's the snapper this year and the kick?
So it's Riley Wasdorp. So he was our snapper last year too. And then our holder is Trenton Juilliard.
Okay. So well, they're doing great so far. Keep it going, right?
Yep.
Next week, Becker. People who follow football in Minnesota over the years know Becker's one of the premier programs in the state year after year after year. Dwight Lundine's won over 400 games as a head coach. That's a lot of games, right? Yeah. So you've got your work cut out for you because I'm sure Becker's good again.
Yes, they are. You know, they're a storied program, as you said. I think so. Week 1 they lost and they rebounded last week. They put up over 40 points. So, you know, they're a team that is just going to continually get better, and so we have to be on that same kind of path as well. So we got to get better each week, and we got to fix some things this week and have a great week of preparation. It's a great opportunity for us. This is what, you know, we're going to go into this week saying, and it's an opportunity for us to make a statement too. You know, that Otter football program can be a storied program as well. So really excited about this, and I think, you know, if our boys put in the hard work and go out there and play mistake-free football, we'll give ourselves a good chance.
All right. Should be fun. A home game. I'm sure the weather looks good. Of course, you never know how it's going to be on Friday, but right now the forecast looks good, and there's nothing like Friday night at the Otter Stadium. So
it's going to be a great atmosphere, a fun night of football.
You bet. Chris, thanks so much. Congratulations on your second win.
Thanks for doing this again.
Oh, yeah. Fun to do it. And thanks to the Viking for the breakfast. Omelets last week, breakfast sandwiches this week. I mean,
they're good.
Yeah, no doubt. And remember, you can text, I got to get my keyword again, Viking, to 321-1926. 321-1926. We're giving away 2 $25 gift certificates at the end of the show. So don't waste any time. Text now to to be in the running for that. And we'll continue with our football talk. I know we've got Spartan football and Comet football coming up, as we're going to talk a lot of football this morning. So don't go away. That's coming up next as we continue our Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said their customer care goes beyond the sale.
We understand that you trust us to get you into a safe and reliable vehicle. And we also understand that our responsibility doesn't end after the sale.
We know things happen, transmission issues, flat tires, lights coming up on the dash. We'll make sure that you're taken care of and back on the road and back to creating memories.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Shout loud. Cheer strong. Jump for joy. Keeping our community healthy and spirited is the top priority. Lake Region Healthcare.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton, there's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls, and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Your path is.
Yeah, that's true too. Yep. We're back. We're just chatting. Bernard Holsey is here, the head coach of the Spartan football team. Coach, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Big day today.
Yes, sir.
Spartan Blue on the field at 1:30 against Minnesota West.
Yes, sir.
I love that setting. Watching a home game at M State is a great place to go on a Saturday afternoon.
Yes,
so
sir.
get out and watch this year's version of the Spartans. And that's what we're going to talk about. This first few weeks is it's a blur, isn't it, Coach?
It has been. It's like Groundhog Day every day. And sometimes you get, and it's just, sometimes it's trying, because early mornings, late nights, but it's well worth it. Trying to teach these kids skills, on and off the field skills, because I always tell the guys, at some point in time, football's got to end, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, 12 years, if you're fortunate to play that long. But essentially, you got to, put the pads away. But trying to teach them life skills to be good men in life and, carry that torch that I'm trying to carry, as a coach and as a mentor for them.
It's great to hear that, and because that is the right approach for sure with these young guys. Not many are going to get to the NFL.
Yes, sir. It's definitely a tough road.
Yeah, talk about the bringing kids in from all over who all of them have had very good high school careers. They wouldn't be playing college football if they weren't good at what they do. But getting that chemistry, team chemistry with so many new faces, you've got a lot of them this year.
Yes, sir.
That's got to be just a work in progress through the whole season.
It is tough. What I've tried to be is a better coach and talk to them a little bit more throughout the day, throughout practice. I've stopped practice. I've kind of adjusted practice just to kind of lighten the load and actually kind of get them to think about the little bitty things of being a good teammate. And I reiterate the fact that I kind of go back to my college days and even high school and, talk about everybody comes from a different walk of life. And sometimes, you don't know that you have things in common. And, you could be from Texas, you could be right down the road in Minneapolis, you could be in, just a little bitty small towns. But what I found is this group has really gelled together, and a lot better chemistry than previous teams I've been on. No disrespect to the teams that we coached in the past, but I feel like this team gelled pretty quick. But I think part of it, starts with me and my coaching staff. They've done a great job of making sure guys understand, this is a team concept versus just me, trying to get out, and I always say that, we'll get more accolades and more guys will have success if we're successful as a team, and not just statistics and stuff like that. I said people will see what you've done as a player, if you're picking somebody up rather than putting them down.
Talk about your coaching staff. You're not in this alone, although you'd love to have a couple more guys,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sure.
Yes, sir. I have actually one of my former players, Simon Stewart. He's actually my offensive coordinator. Jarvis Green, my offensive line coach. Ali Marsh, he's special teams and running backs. Dade McKeever, he's kind of taking a dual role himself. Actually, all the guys taking dual role, but Dade is coaching defensive backs, and David Robinson's kind of a jack of all trades and helps. But I think I always tell the guys that are coaches, that's all hands on deck. Even though you have a title, I mean, that really doesn't mean anything. Everybody's helping out. And the good thing about it, there's no egos as far as our coaching staff. Everybody's willing to take the advice from other coaches. And I always tell guys, hey, I don't want to act like I know everything. I want you to tell me and be honest. If I'm not doing something, if you see something that could be changed that for the betterment of the team, go ahead and do that. You can tell me anytime.
Did you have a number of sophomores come back, or is it pretty much a brand new squad of freshmen?
Probably a brand new squad of freshmen. I'd say probably 85% of them are new players. Some are transfers, and for the most part, most of them are fresh out of high school. We do have a good group of guys that are a good core, maybe 10 that have came back from our last year's team, but for the most part, it's a brand new team.
So when you start practice and the guys come in for the first time, they're meeting each other and trying to figure out what this is going to look like, how long does it take before you as a head coach and as a coaching staff recognize who the leaders are on this team? And have you done that yet? Is that something that develops, as the games come and the season goes on, or do you know who your leaders are going to be?
Well, I think it depends on how the team. I mean, every year is different. I think this year, like I said before, it's different. I think there's guys that have stepped up and become leaders. And I tell all the guys, I mean, just because you're not as vocal, don't try to go out of your way to be a vocal guy. I was one that, and I just heard this from my teammates from college, that I was led by example. I wasn't a big vocal guy, but I mean, I think we have gotten so many leaders, and some guys don't recognize that they are leaders. And I've actually, kind of pulled them to the side and told them, hey, you're a leader. This is what you don't have to, step out of your regular norm of how your regular day of operation to try to be a leader. Just be a leader. Just be who you are right now. And I think that we have more guys this year stepped up as leaders.
The college game, every level, coaches look for offensive linemen because
Yes,
is that the hardest position to fill?
Oh, man, it's like finding a unicorn. It is. But I'll say we're fortunate. We have some good guys at offensive line. We've all kind of done a good job, and what we've done is we've also, last year we ran into a little bit of a pickle when we had some guys on offensive line not come to school, and also guys went down, so we had to switch guys over, kind of matter of fact. But this year we're doing a little bit different, trying to get ahead of anything that inhibits us from being a good offensive line. So we kind of mix the offense and defensive line group work together, and it's worked very well. I mean, not everybody will play offensive line and not everybody will play defensive line, but we've actually kind of groomed those guys just in case there's an emergency. So I think we have a good group of guys that have accepted that role and been willing to say, you know what, if coach needs me in that position, I'll be willing to do that instead of saying, that's not what I play.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, it all starts up front, right?
Absolutely.
They got to be able to open holes and
Yes, sir.
shut down the other team. So, as far as your strategy offensively this year, your philosophy on what you're going to do when you have the ball on offense, what are we going to see from the Spartans?
Well, we're going to take what the defense gives us. I think we have a smart group on the offensive side. They meet quite a bit. We watched quite a bit of film on Minnesota West, and I think we just, we'll try to run the ball. I shouldn't say try. I think we'll run the ball, and we'll pass if we have to. I think we have a good game plan going in. I don't want to give away all my secrets, but I think we'll do pretty well offensively.
How about your base defense, Bernard? What are you going to do defensively?
Stop the run. That's the main thing. It's always stop the run. I know in this day and age, everything's, all about passing. But, one thing I know about offensive coordinators always want to run the ball. And it's very demoralizing as a defensive player and as a defensive coach when guys run up and down the field on you. So stop the run and, make them pass the ball, keep the quarterback in the pocket because the quarterback is very elusive and could, makes plays with his feet and then really has a really good arm. He can throw the ball. So we just got to corral him, keep him in the pocket, keep him off balance, and get some pass rush.
And, of course, the third element is the special teams and finding a punter and a kicker and return guys. And how's that part of the game coming together?
Actually, pretty well. We were fortunate. We actually have 3 kickers this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we do. It's a blessing. And we have quite a few guys that can return. So we emphasize special teams every day. I mean, special teams is always a integral part of our practices, and we don't take any time off. We usually have 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes to work on special teams because that's a very important part of the game. It's all facets of the game that help, and a lot of times ball games are won and lost on special teams.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Field position comes into play there, of course,
sir.
and going to get an explosive big play.
Yes, sir.
Or if you muff it, you're in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this is going to be fun. Season starting today. Jason Retzloff's going to be there to cover the game on Channel 977 FM today. So we'll have radio coverage of that game also. And, I think here we are, September, 6th today?
Yes, sir.
So these kids have only been in school for a couple of weeks, been in practice longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think of being a freshman in college. And there's so many adjustments, Bernard, not just football. You're trying to learn football and focus because you want to be a contributing member of your football team. That's one of the reasons you're here.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to get, used to your classes, your professors, your fellow students. There's a lot on these guys' plates right now.
Yes, sir. It is. And excuse me, I try to make sure they're not overwhelmed. And, even before the season and before they even started classes, we emphasize, academics is important, and don't be afraid to ask questions. If you don't understand something, if you don't know where to go, I said, people at M-State are more than willing to help you. So, and it's difficult when you come from a, different place and you don't know. Everybody comes from different backgrounds, but I feel like our guys will ask questions, and they've kind of leaned on their teammates as well and the coaching staff. If they don't understand something, they'll ask questions, which is good.
Yeah, it is good. It's how you learn. All right,
sir.
Bernard, thanks so much for coming in and talking about your team this morning. We look forward to catching up with you as the season goes on, and best of luck today. 1:30 kickoff, folks. Yes, Minnesota West coming in.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, Bernard Holsey, he is in his second year as head coach, but you've been with the program for...
It's my third year.
Third year. Okay,
yes,
very good. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. Don't forget, text Viking to 321-1926. We're giving away 2 $25 gift certificates to the Viking Cafe at the end of the show, so you want to be in that. 321-1926 is the number, and you're watching and listening to the Coaches Show, Saturday mornings presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said their customer care goes beyond the sale.
We understand that you trust us to get you into a safe and reliable vehicle. And we also understand that our responsibility doesn't end after the sale.
We know things happen. Transmission issues, flat tires, lights coming up on the dash. We'll make sure that you're taken care of and back on the road and back to creating memories.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Shout loud. Cheer strong. Jump for joy. Keeping our community healthy and spirited is the top priority. Lake Region Healthcare.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
I'll fill a few minutes. Oh, we're back. We're, you know how you sometimes when you're doing, if you haven't done live radio or live TV, sometimes you fly by the seat of your pants. Am I right, Zach? Yeah, thumbs up. Yeah. Last night, Mark Johnson, what a trooper. I'll tell you, we've got such a great crew of broadcasters. So Mark's over in Detroit Lakes last night with Jack on the camera. And they are having trouble. Technology sometimes, like Chris Grabowska said earlier, it's great when it works. And when it doesn't, it's just a mess. Well, last night they had a hard time getting on the broadcast. Finally did, and went fine after that. So we are thankful for the guys that we have working for us here with all the broadcasting we do. So good job, Mark Johnson and Jack, last night, getting things going, getting it on, and making sure that the coverage was there. And Jason, I don't think he had any trouble last night over in Rothsay with the Hillcrest Rothsay game. He was on and enjoying great football last night. And boy, what a game. And Corey Fry is joining us to talk about it, head coach of the Comets. Good morning, Corey.
Good morning.
I'm going to slide that over a little bit. Yeah. Boy, that's a nice pullover there, that Comet football pullover.
Thank you.
I like it.
Yeah.
With
it's shop down in the cities that sends up promos every year.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Always fun to support your team by wearing their colors, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you had quite a game last night with a 40 or 36-20 win.
Yep.
Over Rothsay, and you shown the first 2 weeks. What was it, 44 points last week or 48 or something like that? So you've scored a ton of points in the first 2 weeks. And we talked about your offense a little bit earlier in the week, and boy, you didn't skip a beat last night with a lot of points again and just moving the football so well.
Yeah. The score doesn't kind of tell how the game went a little bit. We put up a last-second touchdown late that kind of just made it look further than what the game truly was. Rothsay played a heck of a game last night. They made us really grind for that game, especially in the second half. First half, we were able to really, like you said, Craig, was just able to spread it out and get a lot of things offensively that we want to do. We want to play fast and in space. And that was one thing by when they were playing man, we were able to kind of just capitalize on a couple different like switching routes to kind of just tie up their defense and get our guys in space a little bit. And then in the second half, they kind of switched some things on us and we had to adjust a little bit. And so, offense is doing great. You know, Coach Stitch is always kind kind of upbeat with the offense and making sure we're playing fast, we're moving the ball around to everybody. And I think last night was just one of those days where we were able to get a lot of new guys footballs. You know, Maverick Peterson, younger brother of Cole, who was a Comet a few years ago, stepped up really big last night. And then our basketball player, Sean Berge, made some huge plays last night. When Rotse was kind of making their run to get back in, he ended up with like a huge 30-yard gain that kind of just allowed us to stay in control. But it was a huge play for us. So, yeah.
Well, we were talking just with Bernard Holsey and with Chris Grabowski about establishing the run and how important that is. Doesn't seem to be too important for the Comets to have to establish the run. You come out firing. I mean, you've got such a great passing attack right now. And not that you can't run the football, because you can. You've shown that too. But right now, your passing game has just got to be causing fits for the opposing teams because, number one, you've got a veteran quarterback, and number two, you've got a variety of receivers. It puts a lot of pressure on defensive coverage.
Yep. When you have a quarterback who's played as many games as Ethan Swedberg has, like, you're able to do a lot of things. And he's at that point where he really understands coverages. He's understands how we're looking to manipulate the defense with the different passing concepts that we're running. And so it is one of those things where, granted, we're still trying to figure out our run game and everything, but a lot of our passing plays is an extension of what we're doing run-wise. So we're giving a lot of run action to allow our passing game to open up a little bit. And that's one of the things. Eli Walkup, who is a freshman, he's every week he's getting better, and I think that's where, like, you know, just in a couple more weeks, I think that light bulb is going to really turn on even more, and our run game is going to click. And so just because we know a lot of teams are going to back off and try to play coverage on us, so getting that run game is huge for us as well.
The passing game right back to the passing game. Maverick Peterson caught 2 touchdown passes for you last night. So did Drew Fisher.
Yep.
And then Griffin House hauled one in, big play, 62 yards, I think it was. Number of guys getting into the end zone. It's so much fun to share that glory, I guess we can call it, you know, to get in the end zone. Everybody wants to score. Even defensive people want to score, you know. So to have that many guys get in the end zone in a game is kind of fun, kind of just builds that team camaraderie even more.
Yeah, and that started last summer, really. A lot of those guys put in extra hours in their downtime outside of practice just to get outside to just throw the football around. Kind of how we used to do as kids, where you just go outside and just, you know, get a couple guys together and just throw. And that's one of the things they've been doing a lot on their own, and just being able to get those connections. Like, Ethan knows where a lot of the guys are going to be, and that's just from their time of just being outside together, and that really helps our team overall. And we see it on Friday nights. You know, one of those throws that Ethan threw in the second quarter to Maverick, to most people, it looked like Ethan was just kind of trying to throw the ball in the dirt towards the corner of the end zone. And out of nowhere, Maverick was diving and catching it at the goal line, and it was a score. It was one of the more exciting plays of the night, and where you just are like, not too many people can make that throw, but not too many people can go and make that catch either. So
I'd love to hear that. You know, kids away from organized practices working on their skills and just having fun as kids, you know, not realizing maybe what they're doing as far as just improving their whole game knowledge and skill levels. So your defense last night, Rotse had a couple of big plays, but overall, how would you grade out the defensive performance?
I would definitely say first half we were in that B plus A range. We played really well. We hammered their run pretty well. Second half, I think they just wore on us, and that was one of the biggest things. You know, just playing that 9-man game, you don't have a lot of depth, and especially like either you have a lot of linemen or you don't have a lot of linemen. And we're in that boat where having depth at our line position we just don't have it. And so we have a lot of guys in that realm going both ways. And so second half, they were able to do some things against us because we had tired bodies and a lot of just miscommunications on things. And so second half, I definitely would give us probably a C grade. And overall, I would probably put us in that CB range. But I think that's also a hats off to Coach Meyer and his staff in knowing how to just make us have to grind out a football game.
You had a 30-12 lead late in the game. You had Ross say fourth down.
Yep.
And they ran a little surprise play on you there, the halfback pass.
Yep.
And got a touchdown out of it. And some of those plays, it's funny how this game works, isn't it? You think you got them right where you want them. Fourth down, you're going to wrap this thing up, and all of a sudden they're back in the game.
Yeah. And they ran that play against us a few years back. And they had a kid, similar situation, but even more wide open, and he ended up dropping the ball, and we got lucky. And then this year, we set up for it. We talk about it and different things, but you never know it until it happens, And one of those things, they ran it out of a trips formation and, snuck their tight end backside, and we just kind of fell asleep on the play. Great call in the situation.
Right.
And it allowed them to hang around again. And, the next play was a huge onside kick. And so, it's one of those things. Like I said, I think Rosse is one of those hidden gems as a team. They play hard. I do believe if they had their best player in Carson Jensen, that, we're talking a much different game and even tighter game and things like that. So, yes, I would definitely say still look out for the Tigers later in the year and different things.
Is Carson out for the year? Do you know, or is he?
That part I don't know.
Okay.
I do know it's a tough injury, being that it's his dominant arm. So yeah.
That's a bummer. That's one thing about football, Corey, that I just don't like, the injuries,
Yeah, and it's tough when something happens to a really good kid and a great player too.
Yeah. So Comets with a big win and off to a great start. And next week
Next week we're home against Hancock.
The Owls coming in. All right, and
they're so tough game. They're right now they're 0-2. And I think they're more so just navigating, what life without Coach Christensen, losing one of the better coaches in Minnesota State High School, just moving on to different career aspirations. But I think they're still trying to figure things out. But Hancock's Hancock. They play tough. They're disciplined. And I think it's going to be a slugfest no matter which way you look at it.
All right. Should be fun. Good to have them at home, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Corey, thank you. Good win last night. Fun rivalry with Rothsay, and Comets come through. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Corey Fry, head coach of the Hillcrest football team. They're off to a 2-0 start. Remember to text Viking to 321-1926. We're giving away 2 $25 gift certificates from the Viking. Corey needs to grab a breakfast sandwich there, too, from the Viking, okay? Sausage and bacon breakfast sandwiches this morning being served to the coaches from the Viking Cafe. And we're going to serve up a couple more interviews here as girls soccer is next. Paul Hicks will come and talk about the Otter soccer team, and then Jamie Lill at the final segment of our program to talk Otter girls tennis. So a lot still to come on our Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said their customer care goes beyond the sale.
We understand that you trust us to get you into a safe and reliable vehicle. And we also understand that our responsibility doesn't end after the sale.
We know things happen. Transmission issues, flat tires, lights coming up on the dash. We'll make sure that you're taken care of and back on the road and back to creating memories.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Shout loud. Cheer strong. Jump for joy. Keeping our community healthy and spirited is the top priority. Lake Region Healthcare.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton, there's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the program. We are talking girls soccer. Paul Hicks is in. No stranger to the soccer program, but he is the first-year head coach. And I'm going to start there, Paul. Otter girls soccer, now the head coach. You've been an assistant and been around the program, been around the game your whole life, I know. But how different is it when you take over that top role?
It's a huge difference. You don't kind of realize how much A, the head coach does, and then sort of B, sort of when that head coach is gone, you know, you're kind of used to turning to your right and seeing Coach Jurgens there and bouncing ideas off of him. And luckily, I've got Coach Hovland to help, and so she's kind of stepped into and been a huge asset. But yeah, all the things behind the scenes I have not a clue about. And sort of just, it's like, oh, I need to do this. Oh, we do need buses to get places. I suppose those are those things.
Well, and you have to go and talk to the radio guy and all that.
Yeah, and do all this malarkey.
Yeah.
And,
Wait a minute. You had a strange week this week because you played the same team twice, and that doesn't happen too often.
No, it's been a super busy start to the season, and then like you say, playing Ricori away on Tuesday and then playing Ricori at home on Thursday was kind of an odd thing. Normally, you get kind of a little bit of time in between so you can kind of reevaluate and see what you're doing. But yeah, back to back, it was tough with the one practice in between.
And they got you 2-0 at their place and then 4-1 at your place. What makes Ricori so strong? It seems like their defense is pretty good.
They're a very, very physical team. The girls know how to kind of push you around and sort of off the ball and sort of then how to protect the ball. And then towards the end in the second half, they did a fantastic job of just managing the clock. It's kind of obviously similar to football. There are ways that you can kill time in every sport, and they did a fantastic job at that.
You know, that game at Ricori, you mentioned in your report for my website that Shay Katzenmeyer and Sierra Ochoa did a great job leading you defensively. Has the defensive part and the midfield part of your game made progress through those first 6 games of the year?
Yep, we're slowly getting better and learning to sort of dictate the tempo a little bit. Shay's been fantastic. Everybody in the middle has. Avery Oren has stepped up too. We're just kind of still sort of trying to iron out those wrinkles a little bit like all sort of teams do. But they're doing a much better job at kind of taking away the attack from the opponent and then sort of trying to make a controlled push to go forward.
So after that loss at Ricori and knowing you're playing them again with just that one practice, what did you do on Wednesday to maybe adjust to what you saw Tuesday in preparation for Thursday?
We made a change at halftime in the away game, and the girls looked fantastic. Not a massive change, just a little change, and it seemed to open up and allow a little more space in our midfield. And so we kind of carried that over going into the game at home, and the girls were doing fantastic. Avery Tonneson was just a menace down her left-hand side. and just kept peppering their goal. Sometimes it does take a little bit of luck, and we just couldn't find the luck and find the back of the net. And just like in the second half away, Ricori were able to kind of take one break and put the ball in the goal. And then sort of the second half, we just sort of seemed to lose concentration and focus a little bit. And they were able to strike kind of fast. And so, yeah, we just got to try get that concentration locked in for 80 minutes.
Did your offense pick up a bit as far as opportunities? Because you did get a goal from Ashlyn Wohlers.
We did. We started to sort of go back on the offensive front, but that again is where Ricori did a great job at sort of killing, stopping the plays and killing the momentum. And it's hard when they sort of clear it far and then you've got to kind of start all over again. It does create tired legs. And a lot of our girls, like a lot of players, have sort of little niggly injuries that, the weather dramatically changed over the last week. And so it hurts when it's colder more.
Sure. Absolutely. And how was the footing on Thursday? Did was that a problem?
It wasn't too bad. It was luckily it sort of rained during the JV, and the JV had a fantastic game. And then for the varsity, the wind just picked up and just made it hard to kind of do any kind of controlled long ball forward, and made a tough job for the keepers to try and get the ball out. Yeah,
JV won 4-1 on Thursday.
Yep.
What are your numbers like? Do you have pretty good depth in that?
We do have good numbers at the moment. It's the first time in a while we've kind of had over 30 girls, and that's fantastic to be able to have sort of a starting varsity kind of and then an actual starting JV. For quite a few years, we've had a lot of girls have to play both. And then that really does. I mean, when it is such a short, compact season, that's a lot on a young girl's legs, and so it's great to be able to actually have two separate units to be able to put out and play.
And boy, the games come fast, don't they? Once they start, I mean,
yeah, we got three next week, 3 more next week, and so it's a rocket of a season.
Yeah, it's Cardinal Week, I guess, to begin with. You're on the road at at Wilmer Monday and then at Alexandria Tuesday.
Yeah, a lot of red in our face.
Yeah, no doubt.
Next couple days.
Yeah, and how are those two teams as far as your Central Lakes Conference opponents?
They've always been tough. I mean, the one thing about the Central Lakes Conference is that every team is a really tough team. I mean, I think you could play each other 10 times, and there's a good chance, you'd split, or maybe one would have a hair advantage. But it is anybody's given day on that time. I mean, again, there's a little bit of luck, there's a little bit of kind of controlled luck that goes in it, but it's a really competitive and a tough team, or tough conference to play in.
And you got your only home game of the week on Thursday. Sauk Rapids Rice will be in town. And
yep.
Always good to play at home, of course. And
yeah, no, the nice thing is we've been heavy away to start the season, which hopefully means we kind of get to be home towards the end of the season to be able to kind of get a bit of that advantage and get that sort of home spirit going and hopefully kind of heal ourselves for the playoffs.
So now that you're the head guy, have you made some adjustments or changes to the way you play the game with your team as far as your coaching philosophy? Are you introducing some new things to what you're doing out there?
We're trying. I mean, it's a tough thing. I mean, you get used to what you're used to. So, I mean, everybody is ready for change and everybody calls for change. And then when change happens, it's just human nature that you become a little tentative. But we're trying to get a little bit more controlled in the middle and a little bit less sort of unprepared, and we just want the girls to come together as a team. I mean, even your high school life is short and sweet, and we just want to try and make it as sweet as it possibly can be.
Who are your leaders right now as far as on the field and in the locker room?
We've got 3 really good captains. Ava Thompson is fantastic. She really truly is the embodiment of captains. And then we have Avery Oren and Olivia Jurgens are also captains, and they do a fantastic job. And I would say Shay is a leader on the field. Even though she doesn't have the armband, she surely gains the respect of all her teammates. And we have a number in a lot of different positions. Sierra Ochoa sort of more silent but shows through her work rate. And then we do have girls like Avery Tonneson and LSM that, again, they kind of show it in their work rate and how hard they want to practice.
Are you a coach that likes to use your bench? Do you get a lot of kids in the game, or is it specific situations and spots where you like to sub?
It's probably a little bit more specific situations. Each team is different, so they require different things. And so as much as we try to get as many girls as we can in, there is still that competitive nature within me that wants to put somebody in their best position rather than just putting them in for the sake of putting them in, because they need to gain that confidence too on the ball and not sort of just be steamrolled because I put them in the wrong spot. So I try to be a little bit more specific.
How have you done on your set plays, your corner kicks? And
we haven't really had a ton, but I mean, I don't do a ton of set plays. I think sometimes they can get a little confusing. And so I just want it put in the mix, put it towards the goal, and just run at the ball. And yeah, I mean, like I say, there's a little bit of luck in everything, and we can hopefully, sort of schedule that luck so we're hitting the ball at the right spot. But at the moment, we're working a little bit more on formation and passing and moving over set plays.
Paul, what does the future of girls soccer look like when you look at the numbers down below, even beneath your JV, the youth programs that are out there? I know I go out to D Lagoon sometimes. I've got a grandson that plays in the middle school, and I see a lot of kids out there. So do you feel pretty good about what you're seeing at that level?
I do. There's a ton of kids, and even a lot. We've had a lot of new girls this season just start, and they've all said they played it when they were younger, and so it's trying to find and keep them playing from when they were younger till they get older. And we've got a middle school program, which is great. So those girls get a chance to play against other girls of their age, rather than having to play in the high school setting and have a seventh graders going up against kind of juniors and seniors. So it's nice that they get a little competitive and their own organization to play in their own team to call their own. So, I mean, fingers crossed, everyone sticks with it. And we have a ton of girls that can kind of start in the near future.
Very good. Paul, thanks so much for coming in, talking about your girls, and good luck this week with those 3 games.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of rest and relaxation in between on the bus rides.
Enjoy your one practice. I mean,
thank you.
All right.
We got 2. We got one on Friday.
Oh, that's right, Friday too. Yeah, all right.
Ice bath.
They might need Friday off.
No, they might. Yeah.
All right. That's Paul Hicks, the head girls soccer coach at Fergus Falls High School. Jamie Lill is waiting in the wings. We're going to talk girls tennis next. And when we come back, I'll tell you who wins those 2 $25 gift certificates from the Viking Cafe. So don't go away. Don't want to miss that. You're listening and viewing the Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
We asked customers, why do you choose Minnesota Motor Company? And they said their customer care goes beyond the sale.
We understand that you trust us to get you into a safe and reliable vehicle. And we also understand that our responsibility doesn't end after the sale.
We know things happen. Transmission issues, flat tires, lights coming up on the dash. We'll make sure that you're taken care of and back on the road and back to creating memories.
Thank you for choosing Minnesota Motor Company.
Shout loud. Cheer strong. Jump for joy. Keeping our community healthy and spirited is the top priority. Lake Region Healthcare.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back. I have the winners, but before I do that, the keep 'em in suspense thing,
Yes,
Jamie.
yes. Keep 'em watching.
That's right. First, I have a hat from Running Stitches Embroidery. Beautiful hat. AM 1250 KBRF Sports. And Running Stitches Embroidery is giving these out to the coaches. And you're a coach.
Awesome. So I get one. Thank you.
Yeah, last week I only had 4 and we ran out, so you didn't get it. So thanks for your patience.
Yes, you bet. You bet.
Jamie Lill is here, and we're going to talk girls tennis. But first, the winners of the $25 gift certificates from the Viking Cafe. I'd say drum roll, please, but I don't. Jamie can do it. Okay. They are Zach Hagen and Len Taylor. So congratulations, Zach and Len, on winning. What a great prize.
Yeah. Can't beat the Viking.
Could you spend $25 easily at the Viking? Yeah.
Weekly. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go. Get that whole little crew over there. And yeah. Well, Jamie, it just same song, another verse here for the Otters. 2-7-0 wins the Detroit Lakes and Sauk Rapids Rice. But it was an interesting week. It didn't go down as planned, really.
No, it didn't. And that was okay. We got to play DL at home on Tuesday. That was great. Thursday, we were slated to host Perham and Sauk Rapids Rice in a try, which is a long day. And in looking ahead at the forecast, which we made the right call here, but didn't look like a good tennis day, cold and wet, and we know that you can't play in that. So we rescheduled it, and we got to go down to Sartell to meet Sauk Rapids there and play indoors, which honestly, in the end, was a good call because, 1, we got to play, but 2, it's the indoor facility where we'll play for postseason stuff. So a lot of the girls have never been there, never seen it. It's a very different way to play. There's lighting and different things, curtains in the background that you need to worry about. So now everybody got a little taste of that. So it turned out okay.
Yeah, and the great thing about playing indoors is you avoid the elements, the wind and the rain and whatever. So
yes,
it is kind of perfect tennis conditions. So.
Yes, and so if we get to go play there again, it would be in the section finals. So the girls are very aware of that now. So let's try to get ourselves back there.
Now, when you make an adjustment like that and you lose a match, do you get to bring all your girls? Because that's been something you've been able to do, but
not this time.
No.
Nope. In Sartell, there's 5 indoor courts, so we just got to do varsity only, and Perham was there too, and they got to do varsity only, and we didn't end up getting to play Perham this time because of court time, but still worked out okay in the end, and JV was going to have a practice if the weather was okay, but the weather was not, so they got the night off, and I think they were okay with that too.
Yeah, well, because your meets come just one at rapid fire here,
Yep. A lot of our girls have played 15 matches at this point, so.
That's just, wow. And I'm sure they're loving it.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. We've got some good girls. They're hard workers, and they're ready to go.
Well, and Allie Bradenberg doesn't know what it's like to lose.
Well, I was just going to say, we have one that's 15-0 right now that we could talk about, too. Yeah, Allie is rocking it for us at 3. Honestly, hasn't even been pushed incredibly hard yet, which is great and also not great when the time comes. But she's just such a competitor, and she goes out there, and I never have to worry about, where her brain is. She's going to try to come back. If she's down, she's going to go for every ball. She's going to dive. We need Band-Aids for Allie more than anybody else right now. But the girl is a workhorse, and she is gritty, and she gets out there, and she's having a fantastic start to the season.
All right. Yeah, it's fun to see. And, you mentioned it, and I talked about it the other morning when I was doing one of your recaps, that the only negative that I can see about what's happening here is, are you getting stiff enough competition? Are these girls getting tested?
Yes. And that's what we're looking for. And honestly, this next week we have 4 matches, and I'm expecting 2 of them to do just that.
Good.
Monday we head to Brainerd. Brainerd has always been a top team. in our section and in the CLC. Well, they're not in our section anymore, but they're still in the CLC, so we get to go see them. So Monday will be a good test for us. They're always very solid all the way through their ladder. And then Friday we get to see Bemidji, another AAA team. Bemidji and Brainerd have always been at the top of our section with us.
Yep.
So some good tennis coming our way this week that I'm looking forward to for these girls. And as much as you don't want to say, I want to see you struggle or lose or something, I'd rather see that happen now than the first time we are faced with a really good opponent. And not that we haven't seen some good opponents. We've done our jobs very well. Perham was pretty tough for us, but it'll be good for the girls.
You know, that's a good point that I guess I haven't asked you much about this, but when you're preparing for these teams, how much individual knowledge do your girls have on their, opponents that they're going to be playing? Is it a case where they've faced most of these girls or not?
Yeah, our girls are pretty, technology has helped with this, but they're
Yes.
pretty aware by the time they get to their junior, senior years, who the girls are, who's around. They know many of them by names. So we talked last night, like when we see Brainerd on Monday, Taryn played 3 singles last year. She's playing 1. So Ruby and I were talking a little bit about that, and they know who the girls are for the most part. And a lot about their game. Like, we're excited that Brainerd finally graduated their stud doubles player last year, and that's okay with us. And so they're aware of who they are. But the interesting thing is, like, Isabel Wolf is the #1 singles player from DL that Ruby saw this week, and she's faced her probably 6 times just because of where they play in their ladder. And this was the first time that Isabel really showed up and gave Ruby a good test. So you still can't go into it thinking, well, I've beaten her, so I'm going to beat her. No, sir. So they got to go out there and they got to work and they got to earn it. And Ruby did a great job that night of getting the win. But these girls are working as hard as they can on their home courts too. So just because we've done it before doesn't mean we'll do it again, or vice versa.
Unless you're Novak Djokovic going up against, can't think of the guy's
Alcaraz?
name. No, the American that he beat the other day. I can't remember. Fritz?
Oh.
Anyway.
I must have been coaching my team when that one went down.
You were involved in more important things.
Yeah.
I don't know. So he has never lost to him, and he was lower seed. Not that well.
Yeah.
Not going to happen, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, for the Otter girls, when you are without one of your players like you were the other day because daughter Carson decided she was going to run cross country, which was a good decision. She was 6th overall. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
So how do you make up for her loss when, she's been there with Dylan all those matches?
Yep. So we've been making sure that we've been practicing some different lineups to accommodate that. I mean, we've got a Carson in 2 sports issue. We've got Annie Proudfoot, who is one of our beloved players. And last year we know she had a big open heart surgery, and so we get her some of the times and we don't some of the times. And the girls are very aware that we're working around some of these things. So we've been practicing some other lineups. If you've noticed, Hattie Fullhart has played some singles in the mix here a little bit, and she's done a fantastic job sliding over there. Dylan has practiced playing with kind of everybody in the book. Kaya Ness can step in and partner with anybody on that doubles side. So we do practice. It might not always show up in the match, but we're practicing a lot of different things behind the scenes because you just never know. There might be a day that we don't have a Carson or an Annie, and we got to scramble. And the good news is for us that we've got a ladder that goes a lot deeper than 10. And you've seen Siri Antonison Brown in there. Ella Black has stopped in for her first varsity season. She played a little bit a couple years ago and is back. Girl hasn't lost in varsity yet. She's 9-0, coming in and filling in wherever we need her, singles, doubles. So she's just rocking it. And you've seen Celia Smith get her first varsity win. So we've got this clump of girls who are ready to hop in on any side of the lineup when we need them, and that's just awesome for a program to have.
Yeah, and to be flexible like that. Not every player can do that, I wouldn't think.
No, there's some that you kind of find their jam and you want to leave them there. But honestly, most of our girls are so capable because of the work that they put in the summer that they can go back and forth. And there will be times that we'll slide Ruby over and have her play a little doubles, depending on who we're facing. And Allie, although she hasn't yet in a match, she can easily go play some doubles for us. But I just want her to keep
where she's at.
Keep rocking things over in singles right now.
I mean, she's 15-0, Jamie.
Yeah, I know. I'm not breaking that streak, and I'm also just don't want to talk to her during match because she knows what she's doing.
Right.
I'll leave her alone.
Signe Millard playing #4 singles for you.
Yes.
How has she looked?
She's looked amazing. Like very steady for us at that 4 spot, and just filled that spot better than we were hoping could happen because we knew that was going to be a gap for us. And honestly, if I can talk about one player from this week, it's got to be Layla Zozel. Layla has played at 2 for us the last couple years, and 2 is kind of the school of hard knocks sometimes. Some teams have the same kind of player at 1 and 2, and so Layla's getting a top-notch player every time. And this week, Layla just went out and absolutely rocked it. Started a little slow the first match against Wilmer and came back and started so slow. She was down 4-1 in her match in Sauk Rapids and just turned her match around, turned her mindset around, came back and got the first set in a tiebreak, and then didn't drop another game and went out there and just rocked this. She's a senior. She's a leader by the way she works on the court, and she is playing so well right now.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, and you've got some good senior leaders there. Ashton, Lil, and Hattie Fullhart playing doubles they've been playing together a long time.
They have. They are in sync, and they almost have the twin telepathy that Carson and Dylan do out there. And other coaches will come and it's just so fun to watch them play and listen to them play because they are talking nonstop, and it's the communication and the knowing where each other is going to be it's just automatic at this point, and that's fun to watch.
Seems like they can read each other's mind.
They do. They do. And Hattie is the babysitter on the court. I'm just like, make sure you guys behave a little bit. She's the mom, and can you babysit my daughter for a while? And she does, and they go out and they do their job.
I think you're having way too much fun with this team, Jamie.
They're so good. They really are so great. And just the fact that my daughter's grown up with so many of these girls, they're just so close-knit, and I've gotten to know them pretty well, and great group of kids.
That's so awesome.
So blessed to get to coach them.
Yeah, and so many kids benefiting from that leadership. I think you look down the line at your junior varsity, your middle school kids, they're seeing these kids and how they react to different situations on the court and off the court. What a great learning experience for them.
Yes, we have, I take a lot of pride in the girls being who they are on and off the court. We've got great girls, and they play with integrity, and they manage their lives the same way. It's just great for everybody to be able to see. Right. And I'm going to do a quick shout out that we do have a little event coming up for K through 6th graders that want to come and play and meet the Otters. So if you can find that, it's out there, it's happening. And I can't go without mentioning Ruby's 75th win this week that she nailed. And I got to hit this home again because 75 is a huge number to hit in varsity tennis when you typically get about 20 or so matches a season. And Ruby did it, and we've got more of these milestones coming up, and we didn't have any of these years before, and it takes for Ruby to get that at the top of the lineup is so huge. Yep. Like we talked last week, Carson and Dylan have hit 50, but they wouldn't hit 50 without the Rubies and the Laylas and the Ashtons, Hatties playing above them. If Carson and Dilly had to come in and play one singles, we wouldn't be there. Yep. So it is the core group of these girls all working together, being just such a great team and gelling the way that they have, that there's more milestones to come. I'm so excited for them all, but just what a great group of kids.
Yeah.
And athletes.
And they're benefiting from a great group of coaches with you and Norm and Jesse and Roy in the past.
Yes.
And it's just
I do know how to surround myself with great coaching staff. I can say that's a skill I have.
That is the key to being a successful
luck I have.
Successful head coach, successful whatever.
Yep.
You got to have good people around you.
We've got those good people.
Yeah. Well, you do a great job. It's fun to see this team succeeding the way they are, and you've got some big goals ahead. And like you said, more milestones to celebrate. So
let's keep them coming.
All right. Appreciate you coming in.
All right. Thanks, Craig.
And Jamie got a Running Stitches hat, Running Stitches embroidery, and we'll give those to the coaches. Thanks to Running Stitches. And to the Viking and to Zach Hagan and Len Taylor, congratulations to the winners of the $25 gift certificates from the Viking. We'll be doing that every week on the program, so where we'll be giving away one from now on. I had to catch up from last week, so, new thing. I'm like a new kid trying to figure it out, and it's hard to say that when you're...
Story of my life.
When you're my age. But thanks to Zach for helping us out over there today. He makes it happen, folks, so appreciate him and appreciate you watching on the video stream through the KBRF YouTube channel or the Fergus Now app, and listening on Newstalk 1250 KBRF to the Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe.
Thank you for joining us for the Newstalk 1250 KBRF Coaches Show.